Today, we are creating a fruit collage inspired by the artist Maria Osorio Driscoll. You're starting by creating our painted paper. So you are going to put your name and your desk number along the top. Then you can turn your paper over. We're going to start by folding our paper in half because this one piece of paper is going to have all our different colors painted on it. We're going to start on the big 1/2 side. This will be the colors you want for your fruit. So think about what fruit you want to do and what colors would work with that. You are going to start with the lightest color first. I am using yellow for mine. I'm taking my brush, filling it with water because I want it the lightest yellow I can get. The more water I add, the lighter the color gets. I fill that whole side. Once I want a new color, I clean my brush by pressing it along the bottom and turning it until it's fully clean. Wipe it on the lip, then grab that new color. Again, I want it nice and light. So I add more water to make it lighter. I am just adding a few little lines and dashes so I can still see that yellow hiding behind. I want different layers and textures of color. So I do dashes and lines and polka dots and swirls to create that textured design. Now I want my brush super juicy. This part you have to be very careful. I'm gonna do a splatter. So I get it juicy and I just tap my finger carefully along the top because I want to control that splatter so it doesn't get on the other half of my paper. I'm gonna do this again with my yellow color. Now that I have finished the side that is going to be for my fruit, I am going to do some color for my leaves. I'm going to grab a little bit of green. Remember, I want it nice and light. I draw a line in the middle of that other half of my paper. I want it super light and watery. I'm actually going to mix a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green together. Make sure you add more water to your brush so it's nice and light and it can mix together. I'm gonna repeat the same sort of steps I did when I did my orange and yellow for my fruit in this side because I want layers of color. This time I'm doing short little dash lines to give some texture with my yellow, and then I am going to do that again with my green because leaves are not a solid color. They have little bits of texture and design all throughout them. I can even go through and add a little bit of splatter. Remember, control. Now in that top white section, I'm going to pick a color for some flowers because all fruit start from a flower bud. So I'm taking a light color, that purpley kind of color, and I am filling in half of that white space. Nice and lightly, I do some dashed lines again, and then I added red and orange on top. My last space is going to be some blues and some greens. This is going to be for leaves as well, but this time I'm going to have it be a darker. So that's why I'm adding some of that blue and layering them together. Don't forget you can splatter on this one as well. Just make sure it is a controlled splatter. Whenever you use these water paints, make sure you don't press too hard. If you see the paper starting to have these little booger pieces come up, you're rubbing too hard and can make a hole. Let's see this happen again using some different colors and even our watercolor palettes. This time I did some yellows and greens. That could be great for a pear or an apple, but then the other side remains the same sort of color families. So the only one that will really be different is that fruit, depending on what fruit you pick. There we have our painted paper for our fruit collage.